It's 1986. Rubik cubes are the rage. Crazy hair is in style, and bad dress sense is pretty much mandatory. It's the United Kingdom. Margaret Thatcher and her band of right-wing extremists are in power, causing strikes and creating general havoc amongst the working classes. Now, out of this fold steps Alan Michael Sugar. Years before he was a lord, a sir, or any other made-up title you wish to attribute towards him, Alan Sugar was running Amstrad. The name Amstrad itself is a shortening and concatenation of Alan Michael Sugar Trading. It was founded in 1968 as a general trading and electronics business, and was best known for its CPC range of home computers in the early to mid-1980s. These machines were created to compete with the Commodore 64 and Sinclair Spectrum ranges, with the design being very similar to a Spectrum itself. Key differences being that the CPCs had a cassette recorder built into them and were shipped with a mandatory monitor which encapsulated the power supply for the machines. This was key to the machine's success, as Sugar noticed that not all people could get to grips with plugging a TV into a computer or a cassette recorder, and he simplified the design somewhat by shipping everything you needed in the package. He also had a cheap price entry point, which meant the CPC range did well. Following on from this, in 1985, Amstrad launched the PCW range of computers, which were aimed at replacing typewriters in the business environment. They were sort of glamified word processing machines. They could do other things, but mainly they were designed for word processing use, and they were quite cheap. However, they were not fully fledged IBM PC compatibles. And with the IBM PC compatible market not doing well in the UK and Europe at the time, Sugar noticed another opportunity to bring something cheap and simple to the market in the guise of the PC1512, which was Amstrad's first IBM PC compatible. The name itself, PC, personal computer, 1, the first in the range, and 512 is how many kilobytes of memory it had. They shipped with either single floppies, double floppies, or a 20 meg or 10 meg hard drive and floppy drive. Monitor was either grayscale, well, monochrome, I should say, or colour. And the machine did pretty well. One of the reasons for this was the low price entry point, with machines costing only £399 compared to IBM PC compatibles, which were selling at about £1,500 at their cheapest. So you can see why they did well. So let's take a look at the machine itself. As you can see, my example is fully boxed. We have inside the box the base unit, floppy disks containing operating system and the GEM desktop software, a handy manual, tells you all you need to know, and a rather unique Amstrad mouse. The monitor box contains the monitor, as you might expect, with its integrated power supply for both the monitor and base unit. As you can see, this is the 1512 SD model, so although it didn't have a hard drive when it was shipped, this model has been upgraded. You'll notice on the top there is a battery compartment, so rather than a grubby little CMOS battery, this machine can take 4 AA batteries to power the clock. The keyboard is pretty good, good response, made well. It has a port on the back for a Atari joystick, which is quite unique. On the side you can plug in the keyboard and the mouse, and there's a volume button for the PC speaker, which is another unique feature. On the back we've got the standard parallel port, serial port, as well as a round socket for the video cable and a round socket for the power cable from the monitor. There we have a pot noodle, you can ignore that. At the back you can unclip and you will be exposed the ports for the expansion cards. I've got a hard disk controller sighted in mine. My computer was pretty grubby. I presume they weren't shipped like that from new. Some wet wipes cleaned up the eBay grot though. This example was quite cheap, only £49, which was not bad for a fully boxed machine in this condition. The monitor is monochrome, so not colour, but you can't have everything, can you? So there we go, there's the machine. Booting up, you will notice you are presented the option of either DOS Plus or MS-DOS. I'm going into Microsoft DOS because it's a little bit quicker than DOS Plus. This model has everything on the hard drive, including the Gem desktop. Also has a rather nice strobe effect if you want to kick off a disco. Yeah, look at that. So what we'll do is go into the Gem desktop if I can work out how to get there. For those of you who have noticed, there's quite an easy way to get there from the root directory, which I will shortly discover. And there we go. Now this is the same Gem desktop by Digital Research that was shipped with Atari ST computers from 1985 onwards. And they set up a deal with Amstrad to ship their version of DOS Plus and Gem desktop as standard, hoping that it would revitalise their business and allow them to compete with Microsoft. Unfortunately, Alan Sugar took the step to put a dual boot in with Microsoft at the last moment, and therefore Microsoft sort of won that battle as well. Here we are in Gem, and you can see the paint program loaded up. The response time is quite slow on this. I would expect a bit better. It has got a 8 MHz processor, so it's not too shabby at all. It might be the mouse itself, but it wasn't too responsive. But as you can see, you can create some fine pieces of art. That says hello. It's not a bad package. It's pretty well equipped. It's probably better than Microsoft Paint on Windows 95. It's got a variety of textures, shapes, so many options. So back to the desktop, you can see it's quite a straightforward system. It's based on the Apple Mac operating system at the time, and it's quite intuitive. It didn't fare well, obviously Windows overtook it in the end, but at the time this was ahead of Windows. And it had good functionality. It had a basic program built into it, which I'm just loading up. It was a decent piece of software. Just to give you a quick demonstration of the PC speaker volume control, here it is. Lovely stuff. Okay, I actually have a version of Xenon for the IBM PC here, which I am going to try and run on the 1512. If it works. I haven't tried this yet. Disk 1. Let's play. Oh, for